finally, the first and primary job of a government is to protect its own people. In America, they have a constitution, the right to life, the right to liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. British people are nowhere near enjoying the pursuit of happiness.
Katie Hopkins speaks out about Keir Starmer, what she really thinks. You're not going to believe what just happened. Because while the headlines were filled with the usual political noise, Katie Hopkins stepped into the spotlight and said something that made everyone pause. Yes, Katie Hopkins, speaking candidly about Keir Starmer, and her remarks are already making waves across social media. The reaction: immediate, shock, surprise, and a conversation that's only just beginning. This isn't your usual commentary. This isn't a rehearsed talking point. This is raw, opinionated, and speaking directly to the public mood. It all started during a late-night broadcast where Hopkins was asked about the current state of British politics. She didn't waste time. She launched straight into her take on leadership, public perception, and the way Starmer is being received by the public. Her comments weren't about policy failures. They weren't about scandals or leaks. They were about perception, the subtle ways people judge a leader, the trust gap that grows when politicians seem distant, and the frustration many citizens feel when promises don't match reality. And then she said it in her characteristic, direct style that Starmer is seen by many as disconnected from the public sentiment. A strong statement, but framed in a way that highlighted concern rather than accusation. It wasn't inflammatory, it was pointed, dramatic, and resonated with millions watching. Starmer's reaction, if anyone could see it, was probably somewhere between acknowledgement and discomfort. Even without being present, you could imagine the ripple through his team. Because when someone like Hopkins speaks, it immediately triggers public scrutiny, tweets, posts, debates, and endless commentary. Within minutes, social media blew up. Comments ranged from agreement to critique. Finally, someone said it out loud. Another said, "I don't like her, but she's not wrong here. This is why we question the leadership approach." Critics fired back too. "She's overstepping as a commentator. This is not constructive, just provocative." But the undeniable truth? The remarks landed. And when public sentiment lines up like this, even indirect critiques gain momentum. Political analysts are already dissecting the implications. One senior strategist said, "This isn't about Katie Hopkins attacking Starmer. It's about the message resonating with the public. That's what's critical." Another insider added, "Starmer's team has to pay attention. This shows the emotional gap between leadership and ordinary citizens, and it's widening." Journalists covering the segment noted that moments like these stick because they're human, emotional, and easy to relate to. Data and facts are one thing, but when someone frames it in a way the public feels, it travels faster than press releases ever could. The timing couldn't be more significant. The political environment is tense, the public impatient, and scrutiny is at an all-time high. Hopkins' remarks tapped into this atmosphere perfectly. Not because they revealed hidden secrets, but because they reflected a perception that's already out there, a suspicion that leadership isn't fully connected with the public mood. This is the kind of commentary that forces politicians to pause and reevaluate. It's emotional, it's public, and it can shape narratives in ways official statements cannot. Inside labor circles, there's already a flurry of activity. Expect talking points to be adjusted. Expect appearances and messaging to shift toward relatability, empathy, and connection. One senior strategist explained privately, "This isn't just words on air. It's an alert the public is watching, and Starmer needs to respond carefully." Analysts also noted, moments like this, even indirect critiques, linger longer than you might expect. Emotion sticks, perception sticks, and once a narrative takes hold, it can be very hard to redirect. So what happens next? Starmer's team will attempt to tighten messaging. Expect more appearances focused on listening and connecting with the public. Expect media engagement that emphasizes empathy, transparency, and responsiveness. Meanwhile, public debate will continue, some praising Hopkins for speaking out, others criticizing her style. But the bigger picture? The story isn't about Katie Hopkins or even Keir Starmer. It's about the widening conversation on leadership perception, trust, and public engagement. This moment is a reminder in politics, perception is as powerful as policy. One candid remark, delivered by a high-profile commentator, can shift the conversation, highlight emotional gaps, and force leaders to reconsider how they're being perceived. And the lingering question for the public, analysts, and politicians alike is simple. If this one statement sparked such intense discussion, what happens next as public scrutiny continues to grow? Because in politics, the narrative isn't written by official statements, it's written by the people, the commentary, and the moments that resonate most deeply. And right now, the conversation is only beginning.